Welcome everyone, and today we're going to promote our server 2008 to a domain controller and then join a client to that domain that we've created. So first we're going to go into the server here, so we're going to log on as the administrator, of course, and we're going to go into server manager where we get all the services that we need. So we're going to go in and we're going to add roles. Click on add roles, and once you click on add roles here, so you're supposed to see a list of features and services. We can skip this step because it just recommends some basic stuff for us to do when adding roles. So we're going to click next. We're going to go in and we're going to click active directory domain services, and we're going to go down. This is just some guidelines here, so some stuff. So we're going to hit next, and it's telling us that after we finish we're supposed to run DC promo to actually promote the server. So we're going to hit install. Pause the video for a bit and come back until it installs because it takes a little while. Okay, and it's installed, so now we can see that we have actually started the installation process. So we're gonna hit close now, and we're gonna go across here. Active Directory is actually installed yet, so we're gonna hit our command prompt. So type in here DC promo, and once you do that, it's gonna check to see if the Active Directory has already been installed. If not, this is gonna come up a little wizard to actually walk us through the setting up of the Active Directory. So we click on that. Some guidelines here, so to run through, click next, and we don't have a forest, so we're gonna create a new domain in a new forest, and we're gonna call this domain mydomain.com. Yes, mydomain.com, and we're gonna hit next. Okay, so I made a mistake in typing. Rather than .com, I put mydomain, com. So just gonna come out of that. It's okay, and type it over. So it'll be mydomain.com. Okay, now it's gonna check to see if this domain name is already in use, and it's verifying the net bias name. Once this is done, we can continue along. Okay, now this is the operational level of the thing. So we don't have any other servers on it. The lowest we have is server 2008, so we're going to select server 2008 and hit next. And well, we must have a DNS server, so it will actually give us that option automatically. Later on, we're going to have to come back and change the settings of our DNS server after we set up DHCP and so forth, but for now we are just going to leave it at this as the default that they gave us. Yes, we want to continue. And we're going to leave these by default. These are just the folders that stuff's going to be set up. Now we want to we want to set up a password, so we're going to type in password. Yeah, right. Now this is basically a rundown of everything we just did. We set up a domain with by name of mydomain. Functional level is server 2008, and scroll down to the bottom, you see there DNS has been installed. That was given by default. Right, so we hit next. Now we're gonna select reboot upon completion and let it reboot, so the settings can take effect. Okay, so now upon restart, the settings that we just applied for the Active Directory domain services should take effect. So let's see here now. Just waiting for it to boot up a bit. Apply settings. Okay, just gonna log back in here now. Okay, and we're back up. So yeah, we're just gonna go into administrative tools. Okay, now you can see that mydomain.com has been set up here. That's the domain I just created, and we're gonna maximize these. We see by default we have a list of users by default. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna add a new user to this list. So you're gonna right click on users and select the option new, and we're gonna select a new computer. So we're gonna add a client computer to this domain now. You're gonna add client, and well, we go with the intelligent client Windows Vista. So add client Vista. We're gonna click OK, and we see here client Vista has been added to this domain. Now we just have to actually connect client Vista to the domain. So we're gonna leave here for a little bit and head over to client Vista. You can see here on client Vista we have our settings here that network discovery and file share and so forth is on. We're gonna go across to view computers and devices. Click on that. Alright, you can see that our machines there, so all four of them are showing up. Okay. Okay. We click on my computer, we go into properties. Right click, go into properties. Let it load for a bit. Okay. And we're gonna hit change settings. Continue. Right. Now we want to add this computer to a domain. So we're gonna click change and click domain, and we're gonna add mydomain.com here. So because that's the domain we want to join, and we're gonna, when this prompt comes up, we're gonna, and as administrator, and we'll add our password, and hit OK. And welcome to mydomain.com domain. So we're part of the domain now. It's okay, and we must restart for it to actually join. So just gonna click on that and restart. Let's close off some of these things here. Right, so while this is logging off now, we're just gonna have to wait a little bit for changes to take effect on that computer. Okay, going back into our server now, and we want to go into our network neighborhood, so network and sharing center. for this to load a bit. Right. I'm just gonna click here. Now this should be saying mydomain.com, but I may need to restart the server for that to actually change. I'm not gonna do that now. I'm just gonna go into the network neighborhood. Now you can see that client 7 is still part of our work group, whereas server 08, which I just changed, is now part of my domain. So let's refresh that to see the changes. It's taking effect on the Vista client. Okay, let's go back to the Vista client now. Still loading up. Okay, it should be showing up anytime now. Let's refresh that. Okay, see here, so we're now part of mydomain.com. But now we need to turn on all of these things so it can actually be seen in the domain. So yes, hit next here. All those features showed previously has to be turned on so that Vista client can actually be seen on the domain. So our file sharing, our printer service and everything has to be shared so that everyone can see it and use it on the domain. Okay, let's close this off a bit. Apply these settings, turn on network discovery. Once this has applied, if I go back into my server, I should see this machine showing up. Once that has been applied, you're going to turn on file sharing as well. So apply. And yes, as I said, we are now part of my domain, so we've promoted our server to domain controller and we've added a client to the domain. And that is all for this tutorial. Thanks everyone for watching.